Hi guys, it's Michelle coming to you live from Chalk Arts. If you have a chance, go ahead and like my page, and if you can, share this post as well. Even if you're not the most interested in the product, there might be someone in your friend list who is, so I appreciate that. I'm going to try to get on here and see if I can get comments. I'm not quite sure if I'll be able to or not. We'll see how this works. So, let's see. We have a few projects that we're going to work on tonight. Just to give you an idea of some other things that you can do with Couture. So the first thing that we're going to work on tonight is a little slate I picked up at Packetans today. It's like $1.29, so pretty cheap, but you can make your own little. We're going to do a leaf, and then there's a transfer that's ever thankful for you, so very fall, Thanksgiving kind of themed. So we're just going to put this transfer on, which is our leaf, the actual leaf itself. And then I'm going to use a couple of different colors for this leaf to give it that kind of changing leaves fall look. So I'm going to do a little bit of our brick, a little bit of our mustard yellow, and some evergreen as well. So I'm just going to take, I'm actually going to start with my yellow. I'm just going to put it kind of in dots. On my leaf. I'm going to grab some of this brick. I want more of the red and the yellow than I do the green, since fall is when everything is changing and the green's going away. So I'm going to do the least of the green. Just put some of that in there. And I'm going to take my squeegee. I'm just going to squeegee it down. I'm not going to wipe that back into my container. Normally I will wipe my excess off into the container, but I'm not going to wipe this one since it's a variety of colors. So I'm just taking my transfer and I put it right into, it's just a pan filled with water. So I stick that in there, and that's what's going to keep it clean, and that's what's going to make it stay sticky. So I'm going to let that dry. And then while that's drying, I'm going to put the Ever Thankful for You on here. I'm just going to eyeball it. Looks a little crooked to me. Okay, and I'm just going to smooth it out. And then I think I'm going to do the orange. I'm going to do that for the thankful. So I'm going to make sure I get all of my letters in thankful. And you know, we have a lot of little transfers and things like that, that this kind of project is, you know, it's great for the holidays. Obviously this one is a fall themed one, but there will be Christmas ones as well. Great little Christmas presents, especially like when you're thinking teacher gifts, bus driver gifts, things like that. You know, it's quick, it's easy. These transfers are wonderful because they last. So once you wash them off, they'll regain their stickiness, and you'll be able to reuse them again. So you can make several gifts out of one transfer. So I'm just going to put some white on here. Actually, this is the custard. It's not quite white. It's a little bit off white. So I'm going to put that on the rest of the words. squeegee that off. And then now I'm going to go ahead and squeegee off my orange that I put on. So I'm just trying to keep them separate because you can put whatever excess you have that you squeegee off, you can put that right back into your container. So you might kind of pile it on at first, but then you just put it back into the container. So you're not really using as much as it may look like. Alright. So we're going to go ahead and peel this off. Throw it in my water. Alright, so that's what it looks like so far. If you can see, you kind of see the colors. Sorry it's backwards. That's just the way the phone works. So that's still a little tacky. So I'm going to let that dry. Kind of stick on my lids back on. You want to keep your lids on, that way it's not getting dried out. You want to keep your chalk good. If it does dry up a little bit, like the mustard, I didn't really stir it that well, but if it dries up a little bit, you can just stir it around, add a little bit of water, and that'll help it get liquidy again, so you'll be good to go. This thing's all backwards. Alright, so when you layer something, you gotta let the chalk dry first, and then you can put your next layer on. So that's what I'm waiting on for that one. I'll let that chalk dry, and then I'll put my next layer on, which I'm just gonna do, it's just the veins of the leaf. So I'll do that with some brown. I have mocha here that I'm gonna do with that. So I'm gonna get these lids back on, and then I'm gonna go ahead and pull the next little project, and that way you can kind of see what we're doing with that. So let's go with our witch's hat. So if you were on the other night, I did the little leaf that I bought at Packatans. It was like $4.79 or something like that. So I made that. They also had some other things. They had the witch's hat. So this is another one that I bought to use with one of our Halloween transfers. So I'm going to use this one. It says, "A charming witch and her little monsters live here with one handsome devil." So I'm going to go ahead and do this one. And I'm going to do the A charming and her little live here with one handsome. I'm going to do all of that in white. And then I'm going to do witch in the purple, monsters in green, and I'm going to do the devil in this red. So this is not going to fit. So I'm going to have this transfer all the way down to the bottom, and I'm going to do all of these things, and then A and charming, I'm going to do charming on its own line, and then I'll do A above it because otherwise it'll hang off. So that's how I'm planning to do this one. So this is going to need some, probably a little bit of dry time too. So I'm just going to take my transfer and stick it down. Try to get it centered for the most part. Squeegee just to make sure that it's laying down there nicely. Just going to clean off my little squeegees. They wipe right off. They're rubber squeegees, just like you would get at the store, or similar to like a rubber spatula that you would have in your kitchen. I'm going to do the devil first. Give it a quick stir. And this chalk paste is the consistency of like marshmallow fluff, frosting, something like that. And it's not permanent. The chalk paste will come off. It will dry hard. So if you're doing a chalkboard, like you know how you see the chalkboards in like the bars and things like that with all the different beers listed, similar to that. So somebody, I don't know if they're hand doing those or what, but these with our transfers, like there's a lot of different things that you can do, but it's similar to that, all different colors and things like that. And then it dries hard, so when you touch it, it's not going to come off. And then if something like this, if you're creating something like this where you want it to stay, you don't want to get rid of it, you want it to always be there and not scratch off or anything like that, you could just throw some sealer over it. You could use spray sealer, you could use like a polyurethane that's liquid. So whatever works for you, you can do that. And that will keep it from rubbing off. And I'm putting it on a little bit thicker just because I'm trying to work with several different colors and they might dry on me, so I'm just trying to watch what's drying. And you can also, if it does dry on you, you could also put like a wet paper towel over it if you're doing a bigger transfer. That way it kind of protects it from drying all the way. Or you can spray it with a little bit of water. Sometimes you'll get a little bit of bleeding where you'll be able to see where it kind of went outside of the transfer. So you want to be careful on how much water you put in it. You want to not put too much, but put enough. So my white is almost gone. And these are the squeegees that I'm using. They're actually bigger than this. And I could show you a full size one in a second. Let me get this done. But I actually cut this into 3 separate pieces. Just because it's easier to get inside of the chalk paste jar with it. And I think it's easier to maneuver, especially when you're doing a small transfer. Now, when you're doing a large transfer, it's definitely easier to use a large squeegee. If you want to see some of the different transfers, you could go to my website. You could come to Chalk Art with Michelle on Facebook. So you can like me there and you can get my shop link there. Or you could go to the Couture website and purchase off of that, which I'll post here in a second. So I'm going to go ahead and just rub this off. So I'm just squeegeeing the excess white off. Trying not to touch the green, although I think I've got a little bit on here. So there's that, and then I'm going to squeegee off this red. And the nice thing about this, if you're a crafty person, then you like anything crafty. You're like me. But if you're one of those people who you enjoy crafting, but you're not very confident in yourself with crafting, you feel like, I'm not good at this. Maybe you've done one of those sip and paints at a winery, and you're thinking, I'm never gonna make this thing look right. And sometimes you do, honestly, as long as you can follow directions, you can make those winery pictures look pretty nice. But we do the same kind of thing. We do make and takes, where you pretty much pick what you want your guests to make at your house, and then they can come and they can create with you. And the nice thing about it is, if you set it up in advance, there are a couple different ways that you can do it, but one of the ways is that you set it up far enough in advance, they pay for the class in advance, but then they can pick whatever transfer they want. So they don't have to do what you're doing. So sometimes when you go to those sip and paints, you go because it's a friend and you're supporting your friend or whatever, but you're stuck doing whatever they chose. And sometimes the design's really cool, and other times it's like, I don't think I'm ever gonna display that in my house, so I'm just going for the support of my friend. So at least with this, they get to take something home. And I'm gonna lay that back down and try this white again because it dried. So sometimes it will dry. I do have a fan going in here, so that might make it dry a little bit faster than normal. So I'm just going to try to do that real quick again. Let's see if that'll make it. No. Alright, so I'm probably going to have to do that one again, which is okay because you can. Oh, my white's doing that. Alright. So you can lay it back over. If you don't like it and you erase it, it'll wash right off. So I'm gonna go ahead and just lay this Charming down right above my witch. Try to center it. And then get that on there. Definitely goes a lot smoother when you're not trying to talk. That's good. Alright. So there we go. And I'm just going to do the A right above that. I'm going to stick this in here and clean it off, and then I'm probably going to put it back on there. Right over top.